Okay, I gotta make a little bit longer video. So, Now or Never came out last week. My first single from the new album. The new album is a bit of a concept album, and this is part of the story. And most of it is to do with us finding ourselves and being true to ourselves. And there's this thing, and I'm very careful about how I use the words because it means different things for other people. So you can call it spiritual awakening, you can call it, some people call it finding a God, and it's a very, very different thing for every person. And I think that's also why nobody should try to force their version of it on somebody else, because it's going to be different to every single person. It's about finding this place. It's kind of finding peace in a way. It's kind of making peace with, in my books, it's making peace with the universe, making peace who you are, part of it, and how we spend so much time being worried about things. And most of the time, these things are not things that we are naturally became worried about. It's things that were being taught to us to be worried about. And that's what it's about. It's about dropping those fears and making peace with the fact that you are part of something much, much bigger than just your ego. And when you do that, life just becomes lighter, a little bit easier. The little things don't get to you the same way, but it's a journey to get there, and it takes a lot of hard work, because you have to look at all those fears and stuff that is planted in your head, and you know, I believe our purpose here is to be the best version of ourselves, and have experiences. And by being the best version of yourself is how you're going to start help the world around you, because you know how we resonate, our energy vibrates, has an effect on people around us. And you know, you climbing at the rooftop and trying to shout to 100,000 people that this is right or this is wrong is not gonna fix those things, because unless you're really good at manipulating people, you know what I mean? Because it has to be their own decision that this is right or wrong. And that goes back to the same thing, that it goes back to your own truth. And you know, but if you are the example of the lightness and live more chilled life, you share more love, and by this I mean, like, just, you know, it's like gratitude. It's like being, you know, appreciate what you have and not just trying to gain more and more and more and more and more. There's one for capitalism. Which I'm not opposed to, but I'm a little bit opposed to the current state of it, of some extreme ends of it. But you know, that's what's pretty much everything in this world. Extremism is where usually things go pear-shaped. Yeah, so the whole album is kind of that journey of going through that process, because you know, I had to go to myself, and it starts from the fact that we're very often very uncomfortable just being alone with ourselves and our thoughts. Let me know if you ever felt that way. I know I most certainly did, especially around about 2020 when the world shut down. And obviously, Now or Never is not the first song of the album. it's further down in the road, but it is a great starting point in a sense that it's gonna take you time to get to that place where you find that peace, your spiritual awakening, or whatever you want to call it, find your God, which I don't really, I'm not a big fan of using that word, but it definitely works for a lot of people, so I'm not taking that away in any sense. But until you get there, I think the best thing is like the search for it. It's kind of bizarre thing. If you really search for it hard, you probably won't find it. It's more like you have to let it happen naturally. And in the meantime, and that's what the Now or Never really is about, is that just try to find the enjoyment in the moments around you. Trying to, be present as much as you can. You know what I mean? I'm walking and talking to a phone right now, and that's a great example of what, unless I was sharing something with you guys, I probably wouldn't do, because I want to enjoy this beautiful nature around me. And we too often get wrapped up and like we find distractions all around us, and how we're going to distract ourselves from being in the moment and being with our own thoughts. I know it's scary, but it's an important part of it. So when it says in the lyrics, have you ever got past the noise where everything calms down, it really comes down to kind of meditation. Well, that's where I found it, was meditating a lot, and you get to a point where everything kind of just stops. And for me particularly, it was almost like a room of stillness. It was like there was nothing in it, and it was black, but it wasn't in any way bad. And it was like, it's hard to describe it. It was almost like a liquid, but it was still, and it was quiet, and it was very, very nice place to be, because it was complete and utter solitude. But you also realize very fast there that it's a great place to go and reset. But then you have to get out and live life, and that was a great lesson for me, because, as I said, you're here to have experiences, and there's so much beauty around us. Even in a world that is going through some really horrible, chaotic things at the moment, there's so much beauty. And by far, the beauty trumps the horrible stuff in this world. And you gotta believe that. It's easy to get focused on the news. Don't. It doesn't do any good to you. Focus on the positive. Focus on the love. Focus on gratitude. Focus on being the best version of you. And that comes from just... It doesn't come from an endless hustle. I tried it. It didn't work. Nearly got me burnt out. It actually comes from taking a break and being present. And that's kind of my message with Now or Never. Now, next week, I'm going to release another new song. And this one is called I Am. And this one is going to be another tricky one, because this is about facing your fears, which is part of the process as well. So, hopefully you guys can get a chance to listen to Now or Never. Pre-save I Am. And I'm looking forward to once again hearing what you think of all of this, and let me know in the comments if there's any of this resonates with you, because it doesn't have to. If it doesn't, it's okay. You have time.